What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sports and Culture. I'm Tim Stainrod. Welcoming back Kadeem McLean. What's good, Dean?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. How you doing today?
Just trying to keep working, man. That's all you can really do right now, because shit is still stuck in the time where nothing's really great right now. But just working to keep past the time, bro.
That's it. That's it. And also returning, we got Jared Williams as well. What's good, Jared?
What's good? I just want to ask this one question again. Do you know what today is?
What is today?
It is Taco Tuesday, my guy. So we're back at it again.
Yeah, I can't stand this guy.
This dude, man. All right, man. Yeah, thanks for coming back on, Jared. And today, man, we have a special guest with us, joining us today. We got the future successful actress, mogul, thespian, whatever you want to name her, instructor, a woman of all trades, Miss Saige Noel Bryan. How you doing, ma'am?
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Yo, we're going to get started, man. We got so much to talk about. Saige is, again, a woman of many talents. Got a lot of things we can discuss. But real quick, Saige, would you like to give just a brief introduction about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. As you guys said, I'm Saige. I'm an actress, a singer. I'm a Zumba instructor. And yeah, I was born and raised in Norwalk, Connecticut. And yeah, that's me. I'm a dog mommy. I have a little Yorkie that I love a lot. Very nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a lot. Singer, Zumba instructor, actress, like, wow. Okay, so getting started, actually, let's talk about that Zumba, because that's something I'm seeing a lot of people start picking up on. My mom even got started on Zumba a little bit. Like, how's that been? Like, what's that been like?
It's been really good, with transitioning into quarantine. I've been doing virtual classes through Zoom, and they've been going very well. I started first doing it for a company in Danbury, Connecticut, for their employee gym that they have for their employees. And then I did it at WestCon, at Western Connecticut State University, for their fitness department. And it's a lot of fun.
So have you been, like, what's the difference between, like, to get somebody to do Zumba, like, how would you pitch it? Because I notice a lot of people, like, the obvious is, you dance, you don't feel like you're working out, but I think it's deeper than that. Like, what else, like, would you say to somebody who's trying to get into that type of workout?
I would say, honestly, Zumba isn't about getting the moves right. It isn't about, like, Zumba's not, you don't go to a Zumba class to, like, work hard and work out till you pass out or something. It's really just about moving your body and having fun. It's not like, I think when a lot of people think about working out and what it takes to, lose weight or burn calories, they think they have to go really hard. But Zumba, it makes it really fun. And you just feel really good when you're moving your body. So.
It's like a psychological reversal type of thing, where it's like you don't even realize that you're actually working out, but you're really sitting here burning all these calories because you're moving up and down.
Really, it's like a big dance party. That's what Zumba is.
So that's a great transition, because I wanted to talk about the quarantine, right? And how we can use this time to be creative and expand on certain things. Like, this is a question we've been asking a lot of our guests, but every guest is different. So we kind of wanted to, like, know from you, what are some things you've been doing during this quarantine? And also, going back to Zumba, like, how do we stay fit? How do we stay motivated during this time? Especially, like, girls may not be as inclined to do these things more. So, like, what do you say to those people?
I would say, like, I think because right now, our options for doing things outside of the home are limited. So now I think it's the time to try new things. Like, things I've been doing differently since we've been in quarantine every day is I've been taking the time in the morning to really, or before I start my day, just to get into my body, get into my mind, get into my spirit, and to just tap into myself, because I think before we were in quarantine, we were going, you know, getting into our schedules and kind of not taking the time to check in with ourselves. And so, you know, I think that, you know, even with Zumba, moving your body and just kind of not thinking about what other people are thinking about you and getting your endorphins going, like getting in tune with your body, like it does something. It like relieves, it sheds a layer or something. So I think, you know, because men and women can do Zumba. It's not just for girls, you know, men and women can do Zumba. I think if you just want to get in tune with your body and yourself, give yourself a little pep, you know.
It's a confidence thing. Like, I feel like people who do Zumba, like, they're generally more confident, I feel like, than the average person. Like, you know, it's just like, even if you're not in the best of shape, you know, it's like just the fact that you're out there moving and everything, it shows like you're on your way, you know, you're in frame of
It's
mind.
definitely a confidence booster. It is, you know.
You know, so go ahead.
Actually, I've actually got something you had mentioned, like before you actually start your day, getting into your body. Like that kind of sounds like you're somebody who's also into like meditation and feng shui and all that kind of stuff. Are you?
Yeah, I am. You know, I've decided that during this quarantine that I'm actually going to commit to meditating every day. You know, I used to do it when I have anxiety, and I've been through depression before. So I would say, oh, once those, you know, like struggles started arising, I would say, I need to meditate. You know, I would wait until something happened for me to check in with myself. But since being in quarantine, where all you really have is time to sit with yourself, I've been making it a priority every day to check in. And even when we go back to a new normal, I'm still going to do that because, you know, I don't want to wait until we maybe get back into another quarantine where, you know, anxiety arises and, you know, low vibrational emotions come up to get back into it.
Honestly, it's crazy you said that too, because at the start of this, like, my aspirations were so high. Like, I wanted to travel. I had so many growth things I wanted to do for myself. But sticking with the growth side of it, like, I wanted to be a better person at the end of this year. Like, I wanted to, you know, just go as a man and all that stuff. I am, just not in the way I thought I would be. And like, yo, like, this is like, I'm literally like stuck with me, and like all the ugly, everything is just like, I'm having time to reflect. I'm having time to just focus on personal relationships, like family relationships, like relationship with friends. Like, it's just, you know, so it's been tough and good. Like, it's like a lot of times, and this is me speaking for myself, like I realize I'm the problem in a lot of my scenarios. And it's like, you kind of have to be real with yourself with that. Like, yo, like, okay, like, damn, like, like, I had to really like look at myself and be like, okay, is this the time I want to be? And I'm gonna get into like everything, but it's just, I went through something that made me just really like look at myself in a different light. And it's like, I don't think I would have got that if
it's a change of pace, bro.
Yeah.
It's like you're trapped inside. And then on top of that too, with my family, like, I had a rough relationship with my parents these past couple of weeks, and it's like, it's good now, but it was fine at first. Being stuck kind of like brought those problems, and now it's like we got to work on those problems. And it's like our relationship is almost going to be a little bit stronger because of it, which you wouldn't have got that without being stuck inside. So I just, like, that's all good what you're saying, especially to keeping that, like, as we start getting back out there. Like, don't wait till you get into those moments. Like, it's good to stay in that mindset, you know?
Yeah, what these times are doing now is showing us what we need to do to move forward. You know,
Yeah.
it's like making us, it's pushing everything to the surface.
Hmm.
You know, even just with, you know, COVID in general, you look at, you know, how now everybody is like washing their hands more and wanting to wear masks and social distancing. Maybe we weren't being as clean as we thought before. You know,
Hmm.
maybe we weren't doing as human beings on this earth what we should have been doing before.
Facts.
You know, now everybody wants to be considerate of each other so they don't spread this virus. Maybe we weren't really being considerate of ourselves as far as human beings before, you know?
It's just, honestly, I think that comes down to just how human beings work in general, because it's like it always takes that moment of negativity for the clarity to actually come, instead of like we never actually see it while everything is prospering, because we kind of get comfortable in it. And then once you get out of the comfort zone, you realize, and that's when all the thoughts and everything come rushing at one time. It's just crazy how, you know, quarantine has you know, put us in a position where you got no choice but to deal with all that kind of stuff. Honestly.
Yeah. And like you were saying, oh, I'm sorry.
No.
No, like you were saying, Tim, you were saying how like you thought, you know, like by the end of the year you wanted to be like, you know, have like you wanted to grow a lot and travel and do all these things. And I think, you know, we always think we need to make all these big moves to grow, but it's the small things that we need to do like internally to do that. And I think that's what we're all facing on like a macro and micro level.
Hmm. It's good, man. It's ugly, but it's necessary.
Absolutely.
Like,
No, it's so but yes.
But you know, that's really good as far as like what you do for yourself. And I really encourage anybody else like that's out there that's listening to really, you know, just take that time to get in tune with yourself daily if you can. And you know, just really take a moment to reflect and really prioritize things, you know. But as far as you, Saige, now, talk to us about your singing, because I see on social media. First of all, what's your social media? If anybody wanted to follow,
she's saying, boy.
She be singing on that media.
It's at the Saige Noel.
Okay.
Or the Saige Noel.
I'll at the Saige Noel.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, man, check her out, because she be singing, you know, doing little skits like here and there, doing TikToks, doing a whole bunch of things, and it's just like it's a creative page. Honestly, it's the page you go to just to, you know, just feel the art. So, talk to us about that, man. How is that like for you? Like, what does singing do for you, and what's that world like for you?
Yeah, I've been singing since I was like a little girl, but and you know, I started singing in the church as a young girl, and singing has just always been like my go-to to express. Like when I'm sad, I sing. When I'm happy, I sing. When I'm bored, you know, it's just like my go-to.
It's your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's my comfort zone. It's like my go-to form of expression. And so, I recently have decided to, like in the past year, I've decided to stop playing games and actually like work on music, right? I've always written music, but I never believed in myself enough to actually put out the music that I wrote. So I've decided to take this year by the bootstraps and and release my own music. So that's what I'm in the process of doing.
That's what's up. And listen, man, it's totally normal. Like as we're getting older, like we're still trying to feel our confidence, man, build our confidence as people, because we're still young. You know, we got a lot of insecurities. Everybody coming into their own. People still don't really know what they want to do or what route they want to go in. But yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, it's not even just that. It's just like the unfamiliar territory be so scary for us sometimes. Like when as you're growing, you get used to certain things, and it's like learning the new thing or taking the next step is mad uncomfortable for people because it's just like you don't know what to accept or what's on the other side, and that's a wall people struggle to climb over.
Yeah.
Simply because of being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. But that's where you grow. Like that's and telling you, man, like that's where a lot of people our age, like they kind of hold themselves back because they're sitting on gold mine of whatever talent they're good at. Like I'm telling you, like Zakiya, I'm gonna throw Zakiya out there. You know, I was waiting for a moment to just bring her. What up, Zakiya?
But Zakiya is growing. She is. She's taking her steps, and she's taking the risk. She is.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I remember when she was doing her previous thing on she had a web series a couple years ago, and like even then
at WestCon, when she was at WestCon, she would do like these mini series. She would interview people and like ask them about like their love life and stuff like that. No, for real. Like,
oh my god, I gotta see that.
You never saw those?
Person to person.
No.
Oh yeah, those are funny, man. Those not funny in a bad way. Those were just good. But
I gotta ask her about it.
Yeah. Tell her to show you, man. But I see her doing her thing now with the advice page and everything like that. And but it's not just her. Like, just I love seeing people just step out and get more into where they're trying to go, because it's like you never know what you have to someone else. Like somebody could be waiting for you, whatever you have to give. Mm-hmm. And it can change their life. Like, and I mean, they don't know it obviously, but like you, honestly, that's the way I move and think. Like I'm trying to like push for everything because somebody one day can hear this episode, you know, and be inspired by it to do something. And I mean, we may never even know, but that's just the way the universe works, you know? So I try to like just put forth as much positive stuff and encouragement as I can, but also try to like step out of my comfort zone because life is too short.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? I like really believe that, you know, often I'm being led by like my ancestors to do things. Mm-hmm. And, you know, someone wise recently just told me like, yeah, you know, you're being called. And if you don't make yourself available, if you don't do it, somebody else who's available is going to be called and they're going to get them to do it. You know what I mean? So why not you? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, why not me? You know, like let me stop playing and go ahead and be that person, you know?
That's it. Why not you? Honestly. And I literally try to keep that mentality. Like I'm not better than anyone, but I'm also not inferior to anyone. You know, like I try to keep that balanced mindset, you know, in its proper place, of course, but
proper perspective.
You have to. You honestly have to. But as far as Jared, you got anything to say on that end, bro?
No, not really. Just chilling. I'm just listening to you guys' conversation. It's very enlightening, if anything. I've been getting a lot from everything that all of our guests have been giving us, and just with me, it's just inspiring to hear everybody talk about like her Saige with her Zumba and her acting and her singing and never giving up, and you with your acting and never giving up, and Kadeem always fighting for his dreams to be a anchor and stuff like that, and just making this become bigger than what we're trying to do. And hopefully we can inspire a kid younger than us or the next generation to do something big, like something that we're doing.
I actually like that inspired part with the kid, but an often overlooked part for me too is older people, because there's people who like be feeling like they have no more time left to do what they want to do in life. Like they feel like they have time or it's too late. No, it ain't.
No.
Nah, like
everybody thinks we work off of a clock that doesn't actually exist, bro. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's clock is different, but everybody tries and gear all their goals and everything they want to do based on a general timeline that doesn't actually exist. Feel me? So it's just like everything you want to do, take your time to do it, because once you can't do it anymore, that's really it, for real. Yeah. So
my mom at the age of 60 decided that she wanted to be a DJ, and she's a DJ.
Man, good.
That's how it should be.
That's
That's how it should be.
I love him.
She does events and things like that, and
What made her get into that?
she had gotten laid off of her job a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what can I do right now that's going to, make me some money and something that I enjoy doing, that I love to do. And she was just like, I remember I came home one day and she was like, I'm going to DJ. And before I knew it, she had her cards made up. She invested in all this equipment and she learned from other DJs that she knew. And now she gets gigs like a few times a month.
Okay.
Like in her age group, like she's pretty popular. And so I always say, like, I just look at her and be like, wow, you did that, I think that's great that she didn't say, oh, I'm too old, ain't nobody trying to become a DJ right now, or
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, like I say, even for actors, right, and I think that's gonna be a good transition for us, but for actors, right, like I see all the time, like there's few sets that I've been on, every set I see at least one older person who's just like on it just to like for the experience. Like every set I've been on, at least one older person, even if on set or behind the set, being like a production assistant or something. But it's like the joy behind it. Like people aren't really even doing it for the money. It's just really so for like just the life experience and like the fulfillment of it, And that's kind of where it's more important to do these things. Like if you're gonna do it, obviously money's important in certain capacities, but it should be about your passion.
Absolutely.
But since you it was established that you're an actress as well, and I actually am very excited about this because I act a little bit myself. So let's talk about it. Like what got you into acting in the first place? Let's talk about that.
Well, when I was in high school,
mm-hmm.
I've always been into like the arts. I was into like, I was always dramatic as a kid. So I don't know. The theater was just like a thing that I've always wanted to do. But when I was in high school, I did like band, and then I became a cheerleader. And then like I was realizing, I'm like, I'm not doing it like what I actually want to do. What I really want to do is I want to be on stage. When I was a kid, my mom would take me to see like Broadway plays, and I really love and appreciate my mom for the fact that she exposed me to that, because that's where I got the bug, to be on stage. And so in high school, I was like, you know what? I quit the cheerleading team and I was like, I'm going to audition for the musical. Mm-hmm. And so ever since then, after that, I decided to go to school for theater because I wanted to be an actress. And I've just been on that journey ever since.
Hey man, that's good. I actually, how did I get started? Church.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be in church plays since I was like.
You was in the Easter play?
Easter plays, Christmas plays, man, Thanksgiving plays, little Sunday school plays where there was no holiday. We just had to play because it's a Sunday school class. Mm-hmm. But it was, man, listen, I could put some names out there too who was in these plays with me. Like, let me see, like Brandon Davis. I don't know if y'all know.
Line my man's like that.
Linnea Yop, Jasmine Pryor. Oh my, Megan. Like, I don't know if y'all know these people, but it's just like this was time, bro. But that's what we grew up in, man, doing these type of plays, and it just kind of not everybody kept the bug, but I did. Like I just that freedom of expression was just like always there for me. So like I went to school for criminal justice and everything, got my degree in that. But like even while to getting my degree, like in the back of my mind, I was like, all right, this is just a plan B. Because I know once I get out, possibly in the future, would love to go back to get a degree in fine arts, or maybe just a master's in fine arts. But anyways, that the plan was always to pursue what I was pursuing. And what that is not just acting, because people always like, oh, Tim, you try to act and stuff. Yeah, but I want to be in the industry, period. Like, so I do a lot of set work for free. I was doing a lot of stuff for free just to be on set to gain experience. But it's just learning and being around it and seeing what the industry people do in certain all the capacities. Mm-hmm. And but it's a great feeling because everybody on these sets are just artists that are just trying to put out expressions and art forms out into the world.
Right.
And theater too is like, I've had a couple of theater experiences where nothing on like the Broadway play, but like smaller, like local stuff. I've been in like 3 plays, and that in itself is an experience too, when you have a live audience there reacting to your move, and you can mess up and they don't know. You just got to keep playing it off, you know, pretend, like ad lib a little bit. That's where your skills start to come in, because you could, you know, if they can't tell, then you did your job.
Right.
But it's a different dynamic too, even still, like from theater versus on set, because theater, you're so your stance and your voice and, you know, and just lines and all that stuff. But on set, you're like, it's just you and the camera. So, talk to us about that. Like, how do you, like, what's your experience been like on both?
Well, yeah, like you said, they're definitely two different things. But I've done a lot of theater. I've done a few TV and film projects, and I've actually been really trying to transition into TV and film. And it's a whole different ball game. Like I remember my first TV and film like intensive workshop. I did a monologue for this casting director, and she was like, "Yeah, you do theater." She was like, "Sit on your hands." And she was like, "Try it again," because like I was so, you know, like animated, and my voice like was so, I was projecting my voice a lot. And so it's definitely a whole nother skill that I've actually been taking the time to hone in on. During this time, I've actually taken a few classes through Zoom on Actors Connection. Yeah, I've been doing that. And but yeah, I love theater. There's nothing like a live audience. And with musical theater, I'm able to bridge singing and acting. So I love that. And TV and film, I feel like, you know, you're able to really hone in on a human.
Yeah.
During like with TV and film. I mean, with theater too. But it gives you, I don't know, it like expands your time or something. I can't really explain it the way I want to, but you know, with theater, you can be, I don't know, you can project in a way that's like animated or you know what I'm trying to say? I can't explain.
Yeah, no, I feel what you're trying to say. Like I love both, because that's actually been a common question for me, because, you know, I you know, been blessed to kind of like have experience in each a little bit. Like, oh, so what do you prefer? And honestly, I like both. And for the theater side, there's that adrenaline rush when you're in, like, on a stage. Like there's nothing in TV that does that, because that's live. Like I love that. You know what I mean? Like just doing it, and whatever happens in that performance, that's authentic, because like every time you do it, even if it's the same production, it's a new experience each time. But that film thing though, it's like you really, it's like a workshop. You really get to, like, you know, take 1, take 2, and really you get to peel back layers of the character that you do on stage, you know? And they both have their plus and minuses, you know, but I do find, going back to what you were saying, you were taking that class with the casting director, theater people really have a just a natural better voice, like a clear, louder voice. Like their projection is just louder, because that's what they're trained in, you know. So it's almost like you gotta have to like untrain yourself in certain to you know. So but that's dope, Saige. I honestly am so proud of you, because I remember I used to go to NCC with you in a class, and, you know, and I remember where we kind of were there, and we just both, you know, I love seeing people that, you know, I met before still going and doing what they're trying to do, because that's not a lot of people have that commitment, you know, to even keep doing it.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
It. All of you guys, even with this platform, I think this is like amazing.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So speaking with the theater and everything, you know, I know you also do, and you know, what you're singing, you also have a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about that a little bit. Like, what's that about? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so it's taken me some time to really, you know, tunnel in on what I want my channel to be. And so I used to just use it to like send private links for auditions and things like that. Really, that's what I first started using it for. So I have something coming up that's in the works. They're called Saige sessions. And that's where I'll be using my YouTube channel to provide like my followers content of me singing covers and original music. So you guys can look out for that. They're called Saige sessions. So those will be coming to you guys soon on my YouTube.
Nice. And you is under your name, Saige Noel Bryan?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right, so we're gonna have a little link on that in the bio going to your page. But that's good though. So we talk since we're on YouTube, because a lot of our stuff is on YouTube as well. What are your thoughts on the platform of YouTube in general?
I think if taken seriously, YouTube is a great way to not only connect with, you know, your followers and your audience if you're like looking to do that, but to make some side money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that it does take a lot of work and dedication and time and patience to build your YouTube channel to do that. But I think it's a good platform to just start if you're into film, or if you're into if you want your own show, like whatever you want to do. I think YouTube is a great platform to start that. Like Issa Rae, she started on YouTube.
Facts. Awkward Black. That is such a great series. Let's talk about that real quick. And we got a few minutes left till we take a quick break. But Issa Rae, like, people really don't understand the value of putting yourself out there, because Insecure is only a direct product of Awkward Black Girl, verbatim almost. Like, I don't know if you ever seen those original episodes on YouTube, but they're basically Insecure before Insecure. And somebody saw that and was like, yo, this girl actually can write. She's actually talented. She's actually funny. Why not actually have a show based on this? And from what I hear, I kind of fell off a little bit on Insecure, but from what I hear, everybody's dragging Molly right now.
Don't tell me. I haven't watched a new episode yet. No spoilers, please.
No, I'm like a season and a half behind.
Yeah, no. I actually had a conversation with Zakiya. I was like, yo, what happened? She was just like,
can you not tell me?
You just know Molly's canceled.
Okay. She's canceled. That's it.
I'm like, oh, what happened? So I actually got to have to tune in. But put yourself out there, man. I'm telling you, because all it takes is for one person to see it and recognize your talent. And even if that doesn't happen, people who aren't, like, people will start following you. And if it's good, people will start following you, and then eventually get to a place where you can even have ads and start getting some residual income coming in through that, you know? So, but put yourself out there. So, you know, with everything going on though, man, there are some things that are just not acceptable going on right now, man. And what we're talking about is what just happened earlier today, or was this yesterday? Today, right? Today is.
I believe one of them is today, and the other one might have been yesterday, but came out today.
Okay, so the first one we're talking about is George Floyd, who I believe today is hold on, I'll tell you the date, the 26th of May. So George Floyd was just killed by an officer who, just like Eric Garner back in 2014, was being strangled by an officer arresting him, and this time had his knee on his neck or his head for I don't know, almost 5 minutes, it seemed like. And after it was clear that this man was unresponsive, the officer kept his knee on his head.
For about 5 more minutes, though.
Even still, while people around him are telling him, bro, he's not moving. He can't breathe. He is literally not moving at all. The officer kept his knee on his neck, and then the other officer that was standing next to him was trying to justify why this man's knee was still on this man's head. That disturbed me.
Honestly, before we even go into the details or the conversation we're about to have, my thing is, when does protect and serve, like when does you as another officer, when do you put your brotherhood as an officer aside to be like, all right, this is obviously not taking place? I've never seen police officers ever, and I'm not going to say they don't exist, but they literally always put the shield before what was right in a situation where you can tell something's not right here. Like, there's no reason for you as the person, as the extra cop on the scene, to realize, okay, not only is this man not a threat right now, but he's also clearly unresponsive, and we're not doing our duty currently, because protect and serve is your first duty. You're not protecting nobody right here.
Yeah. The man was not a threat. The man was the only thing that was asked was just remove your knee. That's it.
That's
it. And you can't even do that? Say, did you get a chance to see it?
I did. And the only thing I could even say was, that's sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just sick, like, your only intention could only be just to kill that man. Mm-hmm. If you're doing something like that, and it's just sick. I don't know what else to say about it.
It is. It's not. A lot of people are lost for words, because it's like, really, like we're still dealing with this. Like, it's not. There are other cases too. Please believe that are not making public headlines, because this is a lot more common than people think. But the fact that we have these cases still, and this was a bad one, because the man is clearly you can hear the man literally saying, "I can't breathe." How do you? Come on, man. And we have this other situation that's happening as well with this woman named Amy Cooper, who apparently was walking her dog in a place without a leash.
Central Park.
That's what it was. Thank you. Central Park, New York, without a leash. And I guess you're supposed to have a leash, and somebody else was just letting her know, another black man was letting her know, hey, ma'am, you just need to have a leash on your dog. And I don't really know too much what happened in between, but I do know what I saw in that footage. And that was this woman, Amy, using her skin tone to her advantage, and also acknowledging that because this man is a black man, that things will not go in his favor if she calls the police. Because that was insinuated when she claimed, "I'm going to tell them you're an African American." So when you say something like that, what does that mean to the person?
Listen, that's the scariest part about the situation.
And they know
facts,
and they're aware of the system, and that's just showing them, okay, well, I'll just call them and let them know, listen, there's a black man here, and that's it. That's literally all I have.
That means they know, bro. That means they know. So it's just like, how do certain things continue to take place when the signs and the evidence are there to suggest that they're actually aware? Because sometimes you'll have people who are just naive to things, but they know. They know. Like when you outright say, all right, I'm going to mention you're black, and because of that, this is not going to end up good for you. Like that. How are we in a world like that? That's crazy to me.
Man, it's crazy. But I'm hearing that she got the dog taken away from her because she was strangling that dog. Focus on the man. She can't even.
Oh yeah, dog was dying.
That man, that little. Everywhere.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't see that, Saige?
I didn't see that one.
Okay, so basically, just to give you a little quick picture, it's just them. They're kind of like this open field looking area, and she has the dog. I guess the dog is meandering, doing whatever he's doing, but the dog actually is a little aggressive. I don't know if it's because of the way she's currently holding the dog, but before the video, it's possible that the dog was being very aggressive, which is why the African-American person asked them, can you put the dog on the leash?
Mhm.
Now, I guess she took offense to that. So instead of putting the dog on the leash, she tried to take actions into her own hands, but then she started calling the police. But at that time, the dog's still not on the leash. She just has the dog by the collar, and the dog is just getting choked out because she's out here doing all this extra histrionics and all this other stuff.
Dog is literally in the air, like
Facts, like choking.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
So
It's
the
crazy.
dog
And then, right, so when she calls the police, right, her voice, oh my
it's
God,
crazy.
there's police come, like there's a guy, he's a black, like, and you know what scares me about that, because had this guy not recorded,
right.
they would completely believe this woman. And it's sad that it's even come to this, honestly.
That's
For any type of justice where it should, like, I don't know.
But just in general, when it comes to police activity, like, that's why Black people be afraid to just trauma. We're traumatized when it comes to law enforcement, completely. Like when they're a service that's provided to everybody to protect and serve, but like when we feel like years and years and years have gone by and nothing gets addressed for us ever, and we see things like this take place, how do we confide in you to even help fix a relationship that's been torn over the years? It just doesn't, because it's just like, when do you, at some point you just start to lose faith and stuff, because it's just like, all right, we're giving you evidence. All right, there wasn't clear enough reason for him to die right here. The crime wasn't that crazy. He wasn't threatening. He didn't have a weapon. It's like everything that we could give you to put towards the reasoning for why this stuff shouldn't be happening literally just continues to happen, bro. It's depressing.
I think that
Okay.
just because you want to be a cop doesn't mean you should be a cop.
Of course.
I think, that whatever their process is in hiring these police officers, getting them in the field and out in the streets, it has to come from the higher ups. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
Who is fit to protect and serve? Because that is who is going to protect and actually serve without bias,
Yeah.
I think that's part of the main problem, aside from racism and all of that,
No, you hit it on the nail, because what I was going to say was, like you said, who the hiring process, because I at one point tried to do the process for Stanford. There's a couple of processes, but one of them is the psychological test in the police process to become an officer. So who is approving these officers?
Right.
What I say is that starts at the top. Like, we need to, it's going to suck. It's going to be hard to get into these places. And I'm not saying there aren't good Black cops either, but we need more Black cops or more minority cops positions, like these sergeant positions, these lieutenant positions, but really, who can be in really who not to hire and who to hire, because the cops that are being hired in some of these cities too, they're coming from another city that has nothing to do. Like, why is a Westport or a Darien cop working in Bridgeport, Connecticut, where you literally have no idea what these people
completely unfamiliar.
Right. You're already in culture shock. You're already like,
on top of that, you've never been through any type of confrontation. So the least little thing you get into, let me get my gun.
You don't even know how to deal with these people.
No.
You don't even know, yeah.
There's so many factors that go into just every situation individually. Like, everything is intrinsically different, just from the person or the people you're dealing with in the situation, to the immediate setting, to what could have taken place before they got to the setting. Like, there's so much stuff that actually doesn't get factored into how you should police. Like, there's no general way to actually police something, because there isn't a general basis for everybody. Everybody's different. So it's just like, the hiring process is where they have to, find the right people and put the right people in the right places. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in a place that's unfamiliar, your guard is immediately up for no reason. So it's just like, that can only cause, you know, problems when you're dealing with somebody who's uncomfortable, but then has the power, has the gun. Like, it's just too much unnecessary or possible, you know?
And like you guys were saying earlier with that, but what you were saying before about, you know, at what point do you put, you know, your like at what point do you decide, like, I'm not protecting and serving anymore? Like, I feel like even when it comes to other officers and their partners and stuff, like, when are you going to hold your partners and your coworkers accountable? You know, in that video that you sent me, like, that other police officer was standing right there and watched it happen.
Yep.
Didn't
Just
do
as
anything, just watched it happen.
Just as responsible, honestly. But that's years and years of police culture that has built up to this point that needs to be eradicated. Because it's just like, like police, like, I don't know personally, because I've never had anybody in my family who's been a police officer, or I don't know anybody who's been an officer. But I've heard that police is it's like a fraternity. It's like it's really a brotherhood. Like, to be able to wear that shield, they honor that in a way that is like, it's so near and dear to their heart that they'd actually put the shield itself before stuff for them or the right thing, because they've been trained to over these years realize that we're part of a culture here. Like, and that's what it is. The culture in a lot of these places is wrong.
You know what? But to that point though, like, here's what my thing on that, right? Because I actually, to the good cops, I actually don't, like, I think they should have a sort of a culture, like, when you're laying your life on the line for certain, you know, stuff, and those are your backup, like, in a lot of cases. And a lot of times, say if you have a partner and you're always with that partner 24 hours or 24/7, and, you know, y'all been through some cases and stuff together, like, it is a brotherhood. But there's a line, because there's some corrupted cops who now use that, and almost like, where it starts, like, you're now running lights and you're on the phone and using your position to your advantage, and, like, you know, picking up women or doing drugs and stuff and still getting away with it because you're a cop. Like, there's just little pieces, man. You gotta, like, that's why, again, it goes to the hiring and the integrity. Like, you have, man, a person of integrity. I'm not saying a man, because women too. Like, there's women who are great cops and everything like that. It's just, you have to be a person of integrity. That's my main thing. Like, but I do think, like, you should kind of have that fraternity, especially too. A lot of cops are cops for life. You know, like, that's their end. But yeah, man, things got to change. It really does. It honestly does. We can't continue how we've been doing.
It's such a clear, like, it's just a clear thing that just holds us back, bro. It's like, a lot of people say we'll make excuses based on, like, cop brutality or racism and stuff like that. But it's just like, nah, we're actually living that every single day. Like, you gotta, when we're older, we're literally gonna have to tell our kids about going out. He or she is just trying to go have a good time with their friends, and we got to talk about their potential death. Like, that's not a great reality to live, bro. It really isn't, especially when you know not everybody has to live like that.
Facts. That's a big one. You know, but you know, man, just moving on from this, man, just definitely to want to encourage everybody just to stay open, stay informed, make sure you're keeping up to date with certain things, man, and prepare yourself. Because if you ever get into a situation when you need to defend yourself legally or just defuse a situation, just know how to handle these situations. And I'm speaking to myself, because my hot-headed ass is going to get myself in worse trouble with a cop if a cop ever does nonsense like that. And I got to work on it, because I know how I am.
You gotta literally hope and pray that you don't end up in a situation like that, bro. My uncle says it all the time. I hope I just don't come across a situation like that, because you just know there's just so much you can actually control in the situation aside from your anger.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know how it's gonna go, bro. It's a very scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been pulled over. I've had 2
Mhm.
cops come and search my whole car, flip it upside down in the middle of the night by myself. You know,
It's scary.
it's
It's
scary.
scary. And then you always have the bad cop, good cop situation where it's like one guy or one of the officers is trying to talk you through the situation like he doesn't see the other officer doing the most right now. Like I just hate that entire act that they do too. It's just like, honestly, if you just handled the situations as they were supposed to be handled, you wouldn't have to do half of the things that you guys do.
Well,
And that comes back to the training and the hiring process.
Yeah, you know, but moving on, man. I definitely want to thank you again, Saige, for coming on, man. I you know, it's always good to hear other people's perspectives, especially people who are doing different things, and it's good to see that, you know, you're doing a bunch of things. Like I know you're doing singing, theater, you're doing the acting, fitness, and even, I mean, who else? What's the Brianna, your friend who still does fitness? Brianna Ruffin.
Mm-hmm.
Is she still? She's still doing that, right?
Yeah, she's still doing it. Yeah.
Shout out to Brianna Ruffin doing her thing,
Yeah.
and I'm sure. But
Grinding.
I definitely encourage that fitness part of everything, man, because I feel like if this is like the perfect time for a lot of people to do it, because you're shut in, you have more time to exercise, you have more time to. First of all, you're stuck in the house, so you eat a little better if you buy the right stuff,
Right.
and you know, so it's just, you know, all that stuff is a part of the growth and everything. But speaking of the growth, and last topic, we just want to talk about friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the importance of, as far as friendship, we're gonna talk about friendship just a little bit. And how important is it to have a good, solid core group of friends to be with you as you grow and as you progress in life. And then obviously too, you have people that you don't talk to anymore, and not necessarily out of beef. And that's how life goes. Sometimes you drift apart and you outgrow people and stuff like that. So just kind of talk a little bit about that, and even maybe if you want to get into your personal friendships, like how's that all been to you?
Yeah. You know, having solid friendships, especially while you're growing and transitioning, is very important. You know, if there's one thing that I've learned on my journey is that everybody can't come.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've learned as an individual, you know, I've had to look at what do I want to give to my relationships, and what do I want to receive? What do I want that to look like, and what do I want that to feel like? And for me, support is one of the biggest things, because I know that for me as a friend, I'm going to show up for you, you know, and or I'm going to support you. And not always just, you know, with listening to you on the phone and about what's going on, or you know, it's just important to have people in your life who are going to be in your corner when things get hard, you know. Because, you know, you might have those friends who always want to call you up to party and to go out and have a good time, but the friends who are going to hold you down when things aren't looking pretty, when you're not doing your best, when you're not making a lot of money, when you're,
the investors. I said those are the friends that are investors, when they actually invest in you.
Yes, when you have friends who see you, just you as enough, you just as valuable goods, not for what you do, not for how you make them feel all the time or what you can give, just for who you are. I think that's really important. And I love my friends. And I'm really grateful to have great friends in my corner who do that for me.
That's good, man. Any shout outs you want to give, or you keeping it low?
I mean, I have so many friends, but like, no, I don't say that I actually don't have a lot of friends, but I have a few friends, and I don't want nobody to get upset with me if I don't shout them out. But, you know, just a few. Let me just shout out my sis, Kia. You know, I love you. My good sis, Jen. I love my good sis, Jen. And Keziah. I have a few friends. I don't want them to get mad at me. Y'all might have to cut this out because somebody might be like, wow.
Nah, it's fine. That's good though. It's very important to have that. Especially friends that can, not just invest in you and everything like that, but invest in themselves. They're just like people, people who care about themselves too, to push themselves too, and it's like I love because it's like draining if you're investing time into somebody and you care about what like them, but they're not doing the same for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's people who, so it's like it's I feel like all of my friends personally, we all support each other, but then everybody has their own thing they're really trying to go for, and it's like inspiring to see them do their thing. Because when I want to look at my boy and be like, you know what? He's still doing his. Let me get back into my thing and stop playing stuff like that. And that's kind of where it also comes in as far as strength, because it's like, you know what I mean. Like everybody has those weak moments and stuff, but it's good to definitely have around you, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I admire all of my friends.
Definitely.
I think everybody should admire their friends, you know.
Mm-hmm. So listen, man. We're going to get ready to wrap this up, but Saige, I want to say thank you so much for coming on once again. I mean, great talk. I mean, kind of talked about a lot of stuff.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming on, honestly.
Yeah.
What we're going to do now is, do you have any lasting thoughts you want to leave with people, like any, younger girls probably listen to this podcast, or one of your friends, or just anybody you want to say anything to, or closing remarks?
Yeah, sure. I would just say, keep going. Your path is your path, and as long as you're following your path, you can't really mess it up. You're going to attract the right things, people, opportunities, and growth in all areas. You can't mess it up. So just keep doing you and work on you, because there's always work to do.
That's it. That's
fantastic.
Again for coming on. I appreciate it.
Oh, before we wrap this up, I like to sneak in my last little question at the end.
Okay.
I like to sneak in my last little question. All right, so we talked about singing, we talked about movies, just acting. I got a keep one. Let's see. Well, actually, let's put it this way. A watch one, cue one up, delete, just based off of the track list. We got Tarzan, Mulan, and Lion King.
I'm done.
Okay, Tarzan, Mulan, and Lion King.
Ooh, wait a minute. Wait, Tarzan, Mulan, and Lion King? As far as...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we can... So what is it, queue up?
Pick one to play, pick one to put in your queue, and then you're deleting the other one. You can't listen to it.
Let's play Lion King, period.
Okay.
Let's queue up Mulan.
Okay.
And let's listen to Tarzan.
My heart, my chest. My chest.
Yeah.
My chest.
Listen, Tarzan.
I want to say Tarzan, I actually have that entire track list downloaded on iTunes. I love that shit.
Okay.
Phil Collins is on one.
First, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I had Tarzan first, then Lion King, then Mulan.
Facts.
Like Phil Collins, bro. Come on. Phil Collins. Yo.
Phil Collins had his whole foot in the track list, bro.
That's true.
And then that whole sequence when Turk and them, like the Gorilla Turk, they over here playing.
It's playing the music and they are band. Big facts, though. Big facts. I love Tarzan. I can't be mad at that though, because Lion King definitely has some all-time. Like Lion King is probably generally going to be one for everybody off that list. Speaking, Mulan and Tarzan is where to toss up. I'm interested that you have Mulan too. That's interesting.
Mulan though is very underrated. I gotta say.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. It's a great movie.
Make a man. Like,
Maybe.
come on.
You gonna have a new Mulan movie, no soundtrack? I don't know how I feel about that.
Isn't it live action?
It's live action, so I kind of get. Okay, there's no Mushu, and then there's no singing.
You can't have. You can't not have Mushu.
It's like the story. It's like straight up the story.
But I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
but you gotta. I understand that we can't really have a dragon, but you're gonna have to find somebody to replace the dragon as Mushu. You're gonna have to find a way to put the human element in that, because we need Mushu. Mushu, like not having. It's like not having Flounder in Mermaid, John, Little Mermaid. Like,
Right, I feel you. Yeah.
Or Sebastian. Like, you not have Sebastian.
That's great.
I'll watch it.
All right, man. So listen, thank you again for coming on, Saige. Yo, everybody, before you leave, man, just want you to say, just give us a follow on Instagram at @lightup_productions. And also make sure you give us a follow on our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find all of our content there, as well as Mike on Fire, which is our audio only podcast. You can find full episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And Saige as well. You can follow Saige once again at the Saige Noel on IG, and check out her YouTube channel as well. And yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on, Saige. Appreciate it. We're gonna get you back on the show again.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, man, and that is a wrap.